What's up, everybody? Stephen Bardo from the Big Ten Network back at you talking Big Ten recruiting, specifically Illinois recruiting. Once again, the Illini get dropped at the altar by Texas point guard Jawun Evans, and I understand why Illinois fans are upset and disappointed. This isn't just a John Gross thing. This has been happening for a little bit of time now. Ever since Bill Self left, the Illini have been spurred by Julian Wright, John Shire, Derrick Rose, just to name a few. In-state players, Iman Shumpert from Oak Park also overlooked Illinois. So this is not just a John Gross situation. This is also an Illini situation that's been taking place for a number of years. But here's the difference, in my opinion. When you look at the last four players that the Illini were in on at the last moment, three of them were regional decisions. Demetrius Jackson grew up in northwestern Indiana. He was right there in the backyard of Notre Dame. That's a regional pull. No shame in that. You look at Cliff Alexander when he did the Hat Gate and decided to go to Kansas. Bill Self, Kansas head coach, is one of the top three recruiters in the country. Anytime you're in a recruiting battle with Bill Self, you typically come out on the losing end. Then you move forward and look at Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson's father, Rick, played at Temple. They're East Coast people. They're from Philly. I think Jalen was going to end up at Temple had his dad not run into legal issues. So he chose to go to Villanova. Not a bad choice at all. Jay Wright, a great developer of guards. And then lastly, Jawun Evans is a Texas kid, and he chooses to go to Oklahoma State. Now, I'm sure he grew up watching Big 12 basketball, and Oklahoma State has some spots for him to walk right in and star. And so when you look at these decisions, don't get so discouraged, Illinois fans. I know there's been a history of players looking at Illinois and going elsewhere. But when you look at John Gross and his staff, they're working tirelessly to get top players to Champaign and to view Illinois as a destination spot. If I told you 3 years ago that Illinois would get Coleman Lands, who is a terrific shooting guard out of Indiana, the first recruit they've received out of the state of Indiana in decades, and they got two of the top four in-state prospects in Aaron Jordan and DJ Williams, you'd be ecstatic. But what's happened is John Gross and his staff have elevated expectations for the Illinois program, and that's a good thing. So don't forget it. So Illinois fans, get a deep breath. Don't get crazy. Carlton Bragg and Elijah Thomas are still in the mix, as well as Jamal Murray, 6'5" point guard out of Canada, who could very well reclassify for 2015. So keep the faith. Don't panic. And Illini fans, you guys will see the fruits of John Gross and his staff's labor sooner rather than later. This is Stephen Bardo for BTN.com.